Hey guys, welcome to a all new Hangout video. I'm going to turn that off because as you can hear it makes a very horrible noise. Oh, look at that. Ooh, spooky. I wonder if I can make the eyes go over my eyes. You're you're sitting there like, okay. That was the thing I picked up last Halloween. I was feeling really, I was really into the Halloween thing, and I found this at my local Walmart, and I grabbed it. You can also put it on like a solid thing, so you can just have it like projecting the light onto the wall or whatever. Um, anyway, I got my Halloween decorations out. I made this 3 years ago. It's just a little, it's like a velvet, the black is velvet. It's just like a little standee, and you color it. It came with markers, and you colored it in. And yeah, I thought it was kind of retro-y looking. So anyway, it's an all-new Hangout. Thank you to everybody who watched my most recent thrifting haul. It wasn't a large haul, but it was good. I had a few good things in there. I had a controversial pick, so nobody's left any comments about that yet, but that was the thing that happened. So today I do not have any thrifting haul pickups because I did not find anything this week. However, I did watch some new movies on streaming, and I've got what was on the hi-fi and what was on my Blu-ray player, so we'll talk about that. I hope everybody out there is well. I had kind of a difficult week. Somebody keyed my car, which was really, really disappointing. On the flip side of that, I was taking my car in for body work anyway, so I'm hoping to get that repaired. But to the person who did that, I'm sorry that maybe you were having a bad day, or you just didn't like me, or I don't know what happened there, but it was a little shocking in the moment, but I got over it quickly. My car's kind of old. I mean, I know that's not to excuse the person, but just to say that, like I was telling my landlady, it's like if I had like a 2026, a Mercedes-Benz or something, I probably would have been calling the police, but it's a 2010 Chevy Cobalt. That was my grandmother's, so, yeah. Anyway, that really brought my week down. It took me a couple of days to kind of get over the shock of that, I guess. It was a weird feeling, though. It wasn't like I wasn't mad. I was shocked at the moment when I saw it, but I quickly got over that, and then I was just kind of like, it doesn't really mean that much to me. Like, I hope the person that did that was able to work through their anger by doing that, but it's just disappointing behavior. And I told my mother that day and a few other people in my life, I just said, you know what? I'm done with the human race. So, of course, that's not true, but it's definitely set me back a few notches. And as far as like my enjoyment of society, and so anyway. On a positive note, guys, the weather has changed. The leaves are orange and falling to the ground, and the temperatures have cooled a little bit. I've had the heat on a few times. I just inherited a new sweater, which I'm enjoying. Cozy time is here. So that's really like helped with my mood, and really, really helped with my mood. So I'm hoping with the continuing coolness of the air and just the whole seasonal thing. And honestly, I know it's early, and I'm not jumping the gun or anything, but I am kind of excited for Christmas this year. I need something to look forward to. I do enjoy the holiday season, so I've bought a few gifts already, which has made me feel good, and just taking care of myself a bit more, and yeah. So that's that. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. I hope your lives are going well and that your health is good. And if you're not good, I'm sending out healing vibes to you, and hoping that you will feel better. These videos, like I've mentioned in the past, the Hangout videos, my whole idea, my whole intention here is just make a cup of coffee, settle in. You can color or draw, or you can needlepoint, or you can, gosh, you could even have something in the background playing, the crackling fireplace or whatever. It's just, I'm just hanging out with you for a little bit and talking about stuff that I've enjoyed this past week, a little bit about life, a little physical media, things to look forward to. So that's cool. Oh, the other thing I also am going to be doing coming up, which I'm kind of excited about, is volunteering for a local theater group. I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but I did put my name in, and I am, in about a little less than a month's time, I'm going to be doing some painting for some set decoration for a play, which is the theatrical production of Cabaret. And yeah, kind of looking forward to that. I don't really have a community group per se right now, so kind of looking to just get involved with some things, some low impact kind of things. So yeah, so I'm excited for that as well. And yeah, so without further ado, I will get into some of the things I enjoyed on my stereo this past week. So the one I recently picked this up. This is Glenn Branca Symphony Number 6. I did put this on the other day when I was just tidying up my apartment, getting ready for work, and it's exactly what I expected. It is jangling, droning, atmospheric guitar, atonal, just has like a very simple drum beat, and then it's just this wall of guitars making this huge sound. I only got through the first movement, which is about 15 minutes long on here. But yeah, it was exactly what I was expecting, and it was perfect. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Let's see, I also picked up Jean-Michel Jarre Oxygen, which I mentioned in my last thrifting haul. I did put this on. Actually, I listened to this in the car one morning driving to work, and I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but the sky was really dark, and it was just perfect atmospheric music for that. So my friend Corey tells me I should listen to this on headphones, because apparently there's some synthesizers in there that sound like they're in the room with you. So I will be checking that out on the headphones, I should say. I can't remember what I listened to that made me want to listen to this. I guess I was... Oh, I know. I started to watch that Woodlands Dark, the folk horror documentary, which I watched the last few falls, and it kind of puts me in the mood for fall, and it gives me some ideas for things I should maybe watch as far as like folk horror movies. And there was some sort of like primitive folk horror kind of music on that soundtrack, and it could be from movies. And it got me thinking, do I have anything I could put on the stereo that's like that? And the closest thing I could find was Dead Can Dance. This is a 2-disc set. I think it's like a greatest hits, if you will. But the first track on here is called Frontier Demo, which I used to have on a cassette, which was a 4AD Records compilation. Lonely is an Eyesore, I think it was called. But that song in particular is very tribal sounding, very like earthy, and drums. I don't know if tribal maybe is not a politically correct word anymore, but very traditional sounding drums. Boo, doo, doo, boo, doo. And it just put me really in the mood for that. And so I listened to disc 1. This goes more into like, trying to remember the name of that album. I can't remember the Spleen and Ideal. If you can get your hands on that Dead Can Dance CD or album, it's excellent. But it does go into that kind of territory as well, so which I like. I grew up, I had that record when I was a teenager, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, Dead Can Dance, I feel like maybe it's good autumnal music. It's very rich and earthy, and they combine a lot of different elements of world music, and maybe that's not even politically correct anymore. Music from other cultures, they weave it together in this sort of ancient sounding, it's really hard to put your finger on. I remember when I worked at record stores, they were always in the world music category for some reason. I guess because they incorporate instruments from around the world, but um, they're almost unclassifiable, really. And then on that note, which I haven't listened to this yet, but I did grab it from my sister's house because it was there, Dead Can Dance Spirit Chaser from 1996, I believe. The quote on the inside is from a piece called Harmonies of Heaven and Earth by Jocelyn Goodwin from 1987. In most musical instruments, the resonator is made of wood, while the actual sound generator is of animal origin. In cultures where music is still used as a magical force, the making of an instrument always involves the sacrifice of a living being. The being's soul then becomes part of the instrument, and in the tones that come forth, the singing dead who are ever present with us make themselves heard. So, yeah, this is a really... Actually, I have to give a shout out to my friend Marcy because she was the one that... I liked Dead Can Dance in the 80s when I was a teenager, but my friend Marcy retuned me on to Dead Can Dance. I had kind of lost touch with them, and she had this CD, and we used to listen to it at the record store sometimes in 1997. And yeah, just instantly fell in love with it. So I also listened to Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Best Of. In more recent years, I've been listening to a lot of prog rock in the fall. Kind of gives me good vibes in the fall. I guess you're slowing down the pace and turning inward, reflecting on your life and your soul and your spirit. And I find this music really conducive to that kind of activity. This is from 1994 from Victory Records. Still has the songs Fanfare for the Common Man, Knife Edge, Tarkus, Carn Evil, Trilogy, Lucky Man, and it even has I Believe in Father Christmas. So that. And then really, really away from that, I did put on the Misfits. I don't know what this CD is called. I think it's maybe just called the Misfits. This is an elaborate copy that I made back in the day when people were ripping CDs and things like that. I even went and photocopied the cover and everything. I'm sure Glenn has enough money by now. But yeah, I popped this on the car stereo the other day. I was watching... I forget what I was watching. It was like something... I think it was like a retrospective of Hammer horror. And it got me thinking, I think Horror Hotel is on there maybe, or something on here that London Dungeon, Astro Zombies, Green Hell, a lot of references to horror movies, but like I've mentioned in the past, a lot of the lyrics are not just about those movies. They're very esoteric, and there's a lot of double meanings in Glenn Danzig's lyrics. I know a lot of you out there probably some of those people who post pictures of Glenn Danzig with his cat litter, but I like Glenn Danzig, and those lyrics, if you really dig deep, there's other things going on there aside from just like what Michael Graves did in the 90s, just singing about movies or whatever. There's actually some pretty esoteric kind of occult stuff going on there if you really dissect the lyrics. So, but that's what I wasn't going in for. I was just like, I want to listen to some creepy punk rock. And then today I was feeling a little softer, and I put on the Smiths Singles, which I believe it's still in the car stereo. Twee and kind of like that 80s kind of underground pop. This Charming Man, What Difference Does It Make? Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, How Soon Is Now, The Boy with a Thorn in His Side, Shoplifters of the World Unite and Take Over. So that was just my mood this morning. So that's what's been on the hi-fi this week. Let me know in the comments below what you've been listening to, or if you picked up any CDs. I just didn't pick up anything this week. There was just nothing to be had at the charity shop or the thrift shop. I saw a few things, but now that the local big box thrift store is jacking up their prices on stuff, I just haven't felt inclined to pay big prices for old CDs, scratched up CDs. Come on. I'm not doing it. So on the DVD, Blu-ray, TV setup, streaming, what I watched this week. So I'll start with the streaming stuff. The first thing I watched was a documentary. I think it's called Aliens Expanded. It's on Shudder streaming currently. It's a new addition to Shudder streaming service. And it's about a 5 or 6 hour documentary about the 1986 James Cameron film Aliens, which might be my favorite movie of all time. If not, it's like neck and neck with The Shining and The Thing. But it's an exhaustive interview with the cast and crew, or James Cameron and the cast and some other people. I was hoping it was more about the behind the scenes stuff, the production and stuff like that. They spent all of about 90 seconds on H.R. Giger, which is a bit disappointing. But it was kind of cool to listen to the stars who were still alive. Of course, Bill Paxton has passed away, but Sigourney Weaver was in there, and Michael Biehn, and Carrie, the girl that played Newt. There was a lot of the old actors were on talking about stories from back in those days, so it was kind of cool. I brought this to remind me that I watched it. This is of course the Alien Quadrilogy set from 2003. Beautiful set. I do have the little Blu-ray with all of the movies and the extended versions, but having a hard time parting with this. It has 4 films, 9 discs. It's quite an exhaustive collection. I think I've showed it on my channel before. I'll just show you a quick peek if I can get it opened here. It is a beast. Like, if we're talking the giants of physical media, this thing was a monster back in the day. This thing folds out and out and out and out. Oh, that's one side. And then it folds out here and here and here and here. You can't even fit it on the camera. And it has a booklet at the end. This thing is a monster. I picked this up probably about 5 years ago. I got it for $15 at one of my local kind of collectible stores, and yeah, it's impressive. It's still impressive, even though the discs aren't obviously in high definition. But this has a lot of stuff. So I watched that Aliens Expanded. Would I recommend it? Only to people who are like hardcore Alien fans or Aliens fans. Again, it's cool to hear some of the stars talk about the olden days and like some of the funny stuff that went on behind the scenes. And Lance Henriksen is in there as well. God bless Lance Henriksen. So yeah, that's one thing I watched on streaming. I also, after that, I didn't realize that there was a short that James Cameron had done called Xenogenesis, which is spelled Xeno Genesis. Which is like a little, I think it's about 11 minutes long. And I think it's sort of like a treatment that he did for an idea, a story idea. And it is like, there's so many elements in there that he ended up using for Terminator as well as Aliens. So it's really cool. You can watch it on YouTube for free. So highly recommend going to check that out. You could tell just by watching, I was like, clearly this guy had some brilliant ideas and he was going to go places. So it's kind of cool to see his beginnings though. And then on streaming, the other thing I watched was I noticed on the History Channel on YouTube, they're starting to upload more ancient episodes of Ancient Aliens, which is a show I've always enjoyed watching. So last week, Monday, Tuesday, I was very exhausted from the world, and I was just kind of in my apartment, just relaxing, and I watched a lot of episodes of Ancient Aliens. Which was a bit dangerous because then it led me down conspiracy road, and then I was watching things about Bohemian Grove and the Bilderberg meetings and all that, and the slippery slope when you start going down that road. But I do find all that stuff kind of every once in a while I'm just in the mood to watch some of that stuff. But For the record, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but ancient aliens can do that to you. Let's see. Oh, I actually brought it with me. This is the documentary I was talking about. It's called Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched. This is also streaming on Shudder in Canada as of the date of recording of this video. I can't say if it's on in other countries. This DVD is from Severin Films from 2021, so I'm sure you could probably pick this up on the web, the internet, if you want to buy a copy, or go to your local fine DVD and Blu-ray retailer if you have one left near you. I actually did a review of this, I believe. So if you go back on my channel way back, it's probably on my Cult Movie Tuesdays or Fright Fridays. Way back in the day, I did review this. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on that, go back and dig around on my playlists. And the last thing I watched on streaming was the remake of, and this isn't the remake, this is the original, but I watched the remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer that came out this past July, which does star Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in it, along with a new cast, and it's a sequel? Yeah, I guess it's a sequel. Not a big fan. If I'm going to watch them, I'll definitely go back to the original two. I know there's a third one that's not related to these, I think, that I've never seen. Don't have any interest in seeing it. I think it was straight to DVD. I do enjoy these in a campy way. This one, I think it was pretty solid. A lot of people do not like this one. It's got Brandy in it. Mekhi Phifer from the Dawn of the Dead remake is in here. Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love Hewitt make a reappearance. But yeah, I'll stick with these. The remake, I could do a one-word review of it, and that is unnecessary. Just stop, Hollywood, please. For the love of God. I know there's a Scream 7 or 8 coming. I mean, it's just foolish. And this one, the remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer, does end on... Oh, so if you didn't know, after the credits, there's a post-credit scene where I think it was actually Brandy. I didn't look it up, but there was a post-credit scene, and it made it seem like, oh, they're coming back. So I don't know how well the remake did in the theater, but if you're a fan of the original, I would say just stick with the original. There's really no point with the remake. Sorry to the new people that are making it. I think it's unnecessary. It wasn't terrible. It was not terrible, but it was just, why? We don't need this. We don't need it. And then the last two things I watched on disc. No, that's not true. I watched this on Disney Plus at my sister's house because I was hanging out with my niece and I was looking for something to watch that was spooky. We watched The Adventures of Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad. Specifically, I fast-forwarded to Ichabod Crane and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I did dig out this Blu-ray, though, because I think I'll probably rewatch it before Halloween. It's one of my childhood favorites. When we were watching it the other day, my mom popped into the room where my niece and I were watching this, and I said to my mom, God, I remember visiting my grandmother in the fall. It was probably, we figure it was probably for Thanksgiving, and we watched this on Sunday night. Disney Presents The Wonderful World of Disney, or whatever it was called. This was a staple for me in the fall as a kid. The Ichabod Crane, especially. The Mr. Toad story is okay. It's cute, but I really like the Sleepy Hollow one. So, yeah, it's just nostalgia for me. It's just a pure dose of nostalgia. I couldn't really tell if my niece liked it or not. She just kind of was looking at me a lot, and then looking at the TV, and then looking at me a lot, and then looking at the TV. And but it's cute, and it's, yeah, like I said, it's just a nostalgic favorite for me, and funny, spooky, perfect. If you're looking for something that's not scary, but just gives you those autumnal Halloween kind of vibes. And then on the flip side of that, of course, I rewatched Child's Play 2. I can't remember if I did a review for this or not on my channel yet. I probably did, but this has been another fall favorite for me for the last 5 years or so. I picked this up Halloween of 2020 in one of those Walmart, spooky movie browsers that they put in the middle of the aisle, and they put a lot of discount classics, and I picked this up around that time. I had seen this when I was a teenager, but I had not seen it since, and so upon rewatch, I was like, oh yeah, I really love this movie. It's so fun. Chucky's so vicious in it, and this is the one where they end up at the toy factory where the Chuckies or the good guy dolls are made, and it's just good fun. It's also very short, 1 hour 24 minutes. Guys, that was everything I watched and listened to. I have been perusing this old magazine. I've had this in my possession for about 10 years now. Yeah, it'd be about 9 years right now. And I dug this out and had a little flip through it just for nostalgia. And wow, what a dose of nostalgia this is. I could do it. Maybe I'll do like a video where I flip through it and show you the pages, because it's really, really fun. The most cool thing about it that I discovered was that there's a lot of, they talk about a lot of up and coming movies, and I guess a bunch of them didn't get made because they're like maybe like potential movie, like Steven Spielberg's new movie, blah, 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 is coming out. And it's like, well, that movie clearly never got made, or so-and-so is doing a remake of this movie and then it never got made. So it's cool to go back, and these days, this is from 1981. And, back then they had to go by what the studios said in their press releases and things like that, or I guess word of mouth. They must have had to have fact-checked it with the studios, but I guess, like many things, things don't come to fruition. And there's a whole, I'll show you this. There's a whole section on Friday the 13th Part 2, which is pretty cool. Check out this picture here. There's Jason with his mask off, looking pretty scary. So yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. And it has funny captions under the pictures, and trying to see if there's anything else in here. But yeah, maybe this would be a cool video or a cool thing where I could flip through the book. Might be something different from my channel. There's a section on Hammer horror, vampires and things like that. Women, or Hammer's stake in other vampires. So yeah, kind of cool. I just want to show you one more thing because it's kind of cool. There's pages in it like this, where it's like the advertisements for Star Wars toys, which of course when I was a kid, this would have been just, I would have just been staring at this page for well, not hours probably, but for a good long time. So yeah, maybe I'll save that for another video, but just kind of cool to go through. I don't see these out and around anymore. Every once in a while I see one. I think I paid $10 for that about 10 years ago, but you just don't see them around anymore, at least where I live. And when I do come across them at my local thrift store, they jack the prices up on them and stuff, so it's just kind of disappointing. But yeah, kind of cool to look through that. Guys, that's it for today. It's a little bit of a shorter hangout. I try not to go too long, about a half an hour. That's all I have for this week. Let me know in the comments below what you've been up to. Let me know if there's anything cool that you picked up at the thrift store or at your local record stores or anything like that. What you watched on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K or streaming or things like that. Yeah, that's it. Basically, the last few nights I've just been going on YouTube and searching around for like old Halloween specials, The Worst Witch and ones like that, which were more like on par with my video last week where I talked about Under Wraps, which, yeah, I kind of want to rewatch that now, actually. I think about it. Um, I do have a little stack of movies, like Halloween movies, that I'm going to watch in the coming week or two on the lead up to Halloween, so I may talk about those. Macy's Day Parade is a big deal for me in November. I get excited for that. I did look that up. I think it's the 27th this year. And for the first time this year, they're having a Buzz Lightyear float. So that's really cool. I love Toy Story. So does my niece, actually. So that'll be exciting for her. Um, so yeah, just, I don't know, just giving me something to look forward to. It's been kind of dark. It's been kind of dark for me since the summer, and I just need some lightness. And so the change in the weather, the colorful leaves, putting on a nice cozy sweater, uh, putting on some little candles, and watching some spooky business. It's perfect. It's perfect. So yeah, so don't worry about me. I am feeling much better now, and taking my car in this week for body work that was already slated, and then to get the other business taken care of. And then on Friday, I'm going with my sister to see the band Foreigner, um, which is probably seems unexpected to some of my old friends as well. My sister did have an extra ticket, much like she had for Bryan Adams, so I'm gonna go check them out. I don't really know much about that band aside from a few hit singles in the 80s, but I did look them up, and I discovered that a lot of the guys who are in the band now previously played in King Crimson. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll just go and check it out. And the opening act is 5440, which is a band that, in the mid 80s, I was actually really into 5440. I really liked them when they first came out. Then they went on to be a bit more commercial, but my sister really likes them. So I'm excited for her. And yeah, I'll go check it out. It's a night out. Probably go for dinner and stuff. And then, yeah, that's it, I guess, coming up. So we got some Halloween movies. We got the Foreigner concert. Get some car work done. The next 2 days I'm going to be without my car, so I'm just going to hunker down and cocoon a little bit. It's supposed to rain, I think, one of the days, so that'll be great. Just give me a reason to just get under the covers, watch some cozy movies, and just hang out. Build with some Legos, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what I get up to. But that's it for me for this week. Thank you guys if you made it this far. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you're up to. Consider giving me the thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. It's weird. My views are going up and my subscriptions are going down. It's a kind of a weird time for my channel, but what can you do? Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And you know the drill right here on Night Owl Video. Until next time, I'll see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!